So I'll start off by saying thanks to everyone for dealing with moving this a day forward. I know we usually do this on Fridays, and we'll probably get back to doing it on Fridays, but some of the team had some schedule conflicts tomorrow, so just moved it a day forward so that everybody could be here. Oh, yep. Sorry, Huja, get you up here. So thanks for doing that on short notice. Obviously not a huge showing today, but it's okay. We're recording. Well, I'll kick it off. Welcome to another State of the Reactor update. We have a list of items to go through today. Shouldn't be too long. The first thing I want to mention is there was a great Twitter Spaces yesterday with Swell, which I'm going to share actually in the link to it in the social announcements channel right now. Check out the Swell Spaces from yesterday. I think everybody should listen to it, especially if you want to get sort of re-familiar with some of the first products from V2 that are coming out. Carson, Bruno, Craig, Manuel did a good job of spending some time going through that information in depth, and it was really good spaces, kind of Tokemak heavy. So I encourage all of you to check that out. And
it was a spaces by committee. It was fun.
Yeah, and there's going to be more spaces on the horizon, so be on the lookout, and we're going to keep letting you guys know when that's going to happen. Next thing on the agenda is talking about Tokebase's new thing, which I'll turn it over to Tradium. Tradium, if you want to walk us through what you've just released, I think it's a good, cool thing.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yep.
Great. Yeah, so today we released the new Tokebase pilot manual, which includes documentation that for kind of core DeFi concepts to kind of give users a fundamental knowledge of like the need for liquidity, AMMs, impermanent loss, and that sort of thing that is kind of crucial to understanding the use case for Tokemak, as well as like deeper Tokemak-specific domain knowledge. And we'll be continuously updating these docs as more information about V2 is released. And as well, we have a chatbot at the top of the page, right at docs.tokebase.xyz. And this is also trained on feedback from the community, Q&As, information from Twitter threads, the docs that we've written, Medium posts, et cetera, and we'll be continuously expanding this with more information about V2, more behind-the-scenes type of stuff that we've written to kind of give it a deeper knowledge base, and we'll continuously train it on more information about like DeFi fundamentals as well, so you can make comparisons between Tokemak and other protocols, and it's a great way of being able to quickly search through the docs in a way that you can just ask a question, and just like ChatGPT, it'll spit out a detailed, thorough answer in whatever kind of format you'd want. So you can ask it, explain concisely, explain like I'm 5, explain in detail, and it'll provide answers with that level of detail that you want. So again, that's available at docs.tokebase.xyz. There's also a link on the top right of just the Tokebase homepage. So yeah, we're open to feedback, and like I said, this thing will get smarter and smarter all the time, and we'll continuously update with documentation and tutorials and guides as V2 is launched, and more information is available. So thank you very much.
Sweet. Yeah, super cool.
Let's go. That's cool.
Thanks for doing that. This does not mean that Tokemak is pivoting to AI, but a very useful tool. And we'll try to
I'll probably learn something from that. It sounds like you're going to have the Carson answers, which are short and dumb, and then you're going to have the Manuel and Cody and Sam and Bruno answers that are much more comprehensive.
Actually, yes, I have trained it on stuff from them and you as well. I haven't broken it out into individual users. I'll figure out how to encode those with so you can actually have it done in your style or their style. That's a great idea, actually. I think I could do that.
Maybe it's better if it stays anonymous, so then we can all take credit for all of
There you go.
it.
That
But
works
no, that's
too.
cool.
That's absolutely brilliant. Congratulations, Tracy.
Thank you very much.
And we'll try to get you some of the V2 docs a little bit earlier so that can be kind of ready for launch.
Absolutely, yeah.
Pilot. Cool. So next up, we have an article coming out, which I think we may put out tomorrow, Bruno. But I'll let Bruno sort of introduce the subject matter and talk about it briefly.
Yeah, so we've written, mostly Parker did a lot of the legwork, an article about slashing and other things as they pertain to LSDs, which I think is something that's like most people have heard about, but like don't really know what it actually really entails. And it also goes into the potential like implications that would have for Tokemak as a protocol. And risks and so on and so forth. So yeah, we wrote a pretty detailed article on this, also with like kind of an analysis of like previous cases or like actual kind of real life cases that happened, and then to look into like kind of like I said, the potential how the protocol would deal with it. So yeah, the article is ready. I think we could just put it into Medium for tomorrow, and then with a little Twitter thread that goes with it, with the conclusions. Yeah.
Sweet. Yep. Yeah, we can work on that and get that out tomorrow, I think. Next up is Craig. You want to give us a little update on the audit progress?
I certainly can. And by doing so, it's really the reflection of all of our devs' hard work and not mine. I think a lot of the community saw we formally announced the Sherlock audit. So that begins on Monday. We're really excited to be able to get a bunch of different eyes on this. It's a pretty big contest, so good size prize pool, and we think that'll attract a lot of high quality bug bounty seekers, bounty hunters. We also, Sherlock assigns a lead auditor, and we were fortunate that one of their best was available. So they'll be taking a look at that alongside all of the other participants in the competition. The auction will last 38 days. We'll learn a lot over that process, and in parallel, I think we've mentioned this before, we will start our audit, a traditional audit with Halborn. That begins Monday as well. Halborn's standing by to receive the final commit and documentation. And so I think we've got now some pretty good insight into one of the pieces of the timeline that we've estimated previously. The Sherlock audit will last 38 days. We'll get some more clarity from Halborn on their estimate. But what we've done now is updated the public timeline. If you guys have seen that before, and if you can drop the link in again into some channel that's appropriate. That is now updated and reflects these new audit timelines. Kind of the key things for how the timeline plays out now. With the 38-day audit, that puts us ending on August 24th. We've maintained our estimates for fixed time and fixed review time, and we'll get more clarity on those actual dates when we're at that stage. But that puts us towards the kind of mid-late September. If the rest of this holds for autopilot launch. So making good progress. This is a really significant step. Can't oversell the incredible work that our team has been doing to get to this point. And it's going to be great to now get some more of their eyes on these contracts too.
Not to
Actually,
mention,
Craig, you don't need to oversell it. You can just say what Alvarn sent us on the chat.
Yeah, that is that's a great point. So this is actually, so if somebody has the exact quote in front of them, I didn't pull it up, but we, as a little context,
I'll find it 1 second after so keep talking.
sweet. We have had pieces of the system, even if it hasn't been the bulk of the system, under review by Halborn already. Those audits are going great and should be formally wrapped up tomorrow, and we'll have the audit report back from that set of audits. And in the meantime, Halborn gave our team pretty nice props. So Carson, if you've got that,
Yeah, they had said this was for the autopilot contracts on a first look. By the way, great job with these contracts, as they are some of the tightest coded contracts we've seen in a while. And smiley face.
And this is Alvarn. They review a lot of projects. They are top tier auditors, and I think that is just merit of the Token devs. So congratulations to them.
Absolutely, great job, team. More to go. So we're excited to reach these next phases. I think that probably wraps up this time, this part on audits and timeline. But if you guys do have questions, drop them into our chat here and can dig into any of that if it'd be helpful.
yeah, shout out to the devs, the gigabrains, the true people dragging this whole thing along. We love you, we respect you, and I'm envious of your intelligence level. Okay, next we're gonna just, outside of just the back end stuff, we've got people hard at work on the front end too, and wanted to give a little bit of an update on the UI for V2. And so I'll turn it over to Victor.
Hey everyone. So on the front-end side, we have been building the design system, which allow us to have components ready to pivot faster and move towards the goals that we had set. We want to share with you guys a teaser of what we have been doing. So you can see it now. Let me know if you can see it. There you go.
Yep, there we go. Share screen.
So here we can see that we have moved towards the design that you can see also on the marketing side. And it's not much, but we will be sharing more on the future. Yep.
Sweet. Just a little teaser. Don't want to give too much away too soon.
Yeah. I think you guys will love it.
Yeah, it looks really, really cool. Can vouch.
The veil gets lifted soon, and I think Victor and the rest of you on the interface side will be reaching out to some of the folks in the community to give some feedback, to run through some of the screens and key UX flows over the not too distant future, if that's right.
Yeah, we are working right now on the log page, and we will reach in captains and then the different community members that have helped us before, and new members too, to test those flows.
Probably a good moment to also mention that there is an Easter egg in our current splash page that is out in the wild that literally no one has found. Maybe we just haven't mentioned it enough. I think I did mention it on the last State of the Reactor call. Actually, one of the few people to find it is Tradium, and he didn't get any inside help on that. He just literally was ADD enough to somehow.
Wait, no one has found it?
No, there's
Nope.
No one has
been
found
like 3 people that have found it. So if you get, a couple of minutes, maybe go to our current splash page and have a look around and see. But if you don't find it, it's not the end of the world. Whatever that Easter egg leads to will be probably something that quite a few of you are already qualified for. So, but I'll just leave that at that. It's more of just a fun, commemorative, celebratory thing for the launch of V2. So, yep, check that out. Try to find it. Next up, maybe Craig, I know we didn't want to go too much into this, but maybe you wanted to briefly mention about the upcoming testnet.
Yeah, absolutely. So as you can see, we're making a lot of progress on both the back end and the front end, and that comes together for everybody on testnet before it goes live. We'll put the contracts up and go through a set of internal tests, and as we get closer to launch, we will be bringing more and more folks into our testnet environment to try and go through a bunch of flows and make sure everything works right. And we want to encourage folks to give feedback along that process. I think, as you guys probably heard us state before, we're focused very much on kind of user-focused design principles in this UX UI. And so that sort of that feedback loop with users is going to be really important as we go to launch. We're going to use testnet as an opportunity to build a lot of interactions between us and the user base. Part of that will be a form of competition and reward system for users who give us feedback, and that will include both kind of bug tracking and at its very kind of simple tactical level, and we're also thinking about ways that we can capture more qualitative feedback that leads to us continuing to improve the UI over time. So stay tuned on that. It's in the early stages. We're wrapping up a couple of these other milestones, but there will be ways for the community to get kind of actively involved in the actual product itself, even before launch, if you're interested.
Very exciting. Next up, I should mention that we're going to be releasing within the next week, probably, most definitely, I think we're pretty close, releasing an updated emissions token schedule for vesting tokens. I know Kryptonian in the audience was someone that's been asking about that for a while. And there were a lot of people that relocked their tokens for longer, and it took us a little while to gather all of that bucketed information and make it into a digestible and readable format. So that's something that's forthcoming. So be on the lookout for that. And that gets us close to the end of the list, but I think maybe it's worth mentioning that Craig and Manuel, you guys are going to ECC. You guys want to mention that?
Yeah, we're going to meet with a lot of partners for V2 during EFCC. And in addition to that, if anyone from the community is there, feel free to reach out. Definitely down to meet. So yeah, I would also just like to leave an appeal, because I'm getting this question a lot of times. And people ask me, well, how is the autopilot different from products like, for example, YETH, DSETH, or for example, OETH? And there is such a strong differentiation that I can't even draw any parallels. So in all of these cases, these LSTs, they kind of work as aggregators where people vote on the underlying constituents, and they decide, for example, 10% of this is SWEET, 20% of this is STETH, etc., with votings. Usually these products try to advocate to the fact that they provide diversified yield, but what the autopilot provides, it's optimized yield. There is no voting, there is just autonomous rebalancing, right? That is algorithmic, and that just completely sets us apart. And in addition to that, our underlying, it's liquidity, it's LP tokens. So just want to put that out there. because I understand that it might sometimes be hard to differentiate these things, and at a very surface level, there might be some similarities. But the fact is that we are the first LP aggregator. We are very focused on bringing this novel primitive to DeFi, and I think that it's important to take that into consideration and have this differentiation of these LST aggregators, where people are just really voting on the underlying and rebalancing weights, and that's it. And again, something that is diversified is not something that is optimized.
Powerful point to end on, because that brings us to the end of our list. Does anyone else from the team have anything else that they want to talk about right now? I know it's kind of a short one. We're shorter than 30 minutes, but burn through that list. Any last thoughts, as Craig says often in our calls?
A lot of stuff moving, and I think probably our next call will use up the whole time.
Cool.
I think that could be a question coming in from Croker. He's typing. We'll just give him a second. I don't know if he's planning to ask a question or not. Okay, no question.
Just a good call. All right, guys. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. And we're really excited about everything that's to come. And we'll keep everybody updated and be around on the Discord. So talk to everybody soon. Thanks, guys.
Fine, thanks.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.